John.
Dun dun. Hello, Eric. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. How are you? I can't not open with how are you? I'm sorry. I don't know. It's a constitutional failing or something like that.
I thought about this 3 years ago, I would have started a running gag where I would say something, I don't know, different every week, and it would be a completely unrelated, and it would be a thing. But we're 3 years in, and
yeah,
it's not a thing. There is no thing. This is the thing.
It's okay. You could just say, I'm okay. I'm doing well. I'm doing poorly. I don't know. I hope you're not doing poorly.
I'm tired.
I know. The heat is oppressive.
And it's coming even more.
Yeah. Yeah. My wife said that the highest, evidently official temperature Portland has ever registered was 107.
It looks to beat it.
That we look like we're going to beat that. And that was not a June temperature. That was like a, I think
probably August or late July.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is not an auspicious start to the year for really worried about fire on the fires in the West this summer. It's not shaping up to be a good year. So
nope.
Fingers crossed.
I am glad that this past weekend I got my underdecking project for the most part finished. I mean, it was hot this weekend.
Exciting.
But yeah, so now I have waterproofing under my deck. So below my deck, the patio below my deck has cover from the rain whenever it rains again.
And I bet it's nice and shady back there. Is it staying cool?
Yeah, it does stay cool. I mean, just how my house is situated and the trees around it, the back below the deck has always been shady, even without the underdeck stuff, because it north facing and a walkout basement. So, but it will be nice to be able to sit outside when it's pleasant enough while it's raining, because that's part of the problem is, it's raining, but it's not necessarily hot. It's just pleasant. And it'd be nice to have some patio furniture that you can go out and sit outside and it can rain around you.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm glad I did it this last weekend and not this upcoming weekend.
I like being out in the rain. I love the sound of the rain.
I'm looking forward to see how it performs because I did corrugated steel.
Okay.
And we've run, dump a bucket of water on the deck above to see what happens, which is not really a valid use case, I don't think.
Not a valid system test.
No.
Integration test.
But we have found a few places where I think I do need to put I have some sealant and caulking that I will address in spots as appropriate. And I've got a few other things that I still need to work on. I need to put in a wrap around the whole deck to hide the sides and the gutters.
Uh-huh.
And then paint that the color of the house, just to kind of make it look a little nicer. But
that's exciting.
So far, I'm happy that it's done. And
that's exciting.
Next week or this weekend, it can be all the hot at once because I'm going to stay inside in my basement where it's cold.
It is ironic. I actually have a sweatshirt on because I'm down in the basement. And yeah, I mean, you definitely do not need a sweatshirt on outside.
Nope.
Although I went outside, I got to sit outside for about an hour this evening. I think from about 8:30 to 9:30, right before I came down here. We were done with chores and the back of our house actually faces east. So after 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, it's pretty much shady back there, and it was warm to start, but got nice and pleasant, and I love just kind of watching the bats fly over and eat all the insects. It's awesome.
I need some
So
bats out at my house.
I can build a bat box.
I may do that. We used to have one at my other place.
Yeah.
When my girls were little, Home Depot would have a come and do a project with your kid
Oh yeah.
day, and every Saturday, my oldest, when she was really little, loved to do that, and so we would go build the whatever it was, and one time it was a bat box, and she was so excited about it. I think it's still nailed to the tree in our old house. We walked by. I'll have to look over the fence again and see if it's still nailed to the tree because we put it up pretty high. So
that's awesome.
So thinking about that, yeah, that's a good idea because we have lots of bugs in our backyard now.
Yeah.
I need to attract things that will eat them. Bats would be good.
Good plan. If you know of anything that eats squirrels other than coyotes, you can send them my way. I have got so many squirrels. Oh my gosh, they're gonna drive me insane. But the heat has been bad for us in one way, which is that I forget. Have I mentioned on the podcast that we had to plant a whole bunch of arborvitae up by the road? This
4th of July
spring.
Fire, I think you mentioned.
Yeah, last year our neighbor set them on a light, and at the 4th of July. Yeah, so this spring we had them replaced, and it was kind of convenient because the person, well, actually we lease out some land up there to a grower who grows arborvitae, and he's like, oh yeah, I'll replace them for you. So we paid him to do it, which was awesome, but they need water. This heat is awful. And I do not have, and for newly planted things, well, they're a few months in, but they've needed water, and we were watering like once a week, and then he was watering. His sprinklers reach them pretty okay, and he was watering basically once a week. So but at the moment we needed more. So actually, that was one of the things I did this past Saturday. Was we had been using like this 50-gallon water container, I guess. What would you say? Water tank. And filling it up, taking it up there. But there are 33 trees. And 50 gallons, it was not enough water. And you still have to stand there with the hose and like wait. And you can't like just dump a whole bucket out at the same time because it actually won't, it won't stay where it needs to be.
Right.
So I'm in the middle of a new solution, which was we went and got a 275-gallon tank this weekend, which is one of those big square ones that's on a pallet inside like a metal cage. Actually, it was used for honey, ironically enough. It had it still had a little bit of honey. The guy said that, oh no, yeah, it's potable or, food safe. Not that we're going to be using it for anything there. And that it had a sign for honey on the side of it. And anyway, so this week I went down and I got the Franken set of adapters to go from the 2-inch spigot down to a 1-inch hose. So that I could, empty it in a reasonable amount of time, which I've done. I've been doing every other night for the last couple nights or the last few nights. And then, my new plan that I started to exercise on Sunday was to get 30, 5-gallon buckets. Like I literally called up Harbor Freight and was like, how many buckets do you have? And they had 22. So, and I went down and spent, there was $3.25 for a bucket. So I went down and bought 30 of them. Well, 22 from there and the rest from Coastal. And I've only done it to 8 so far. 8. This evening was the experiment for 8. I drilled a hole in it and then tied a rope around or twine around the tree so that the bucket won't like roll off when it's empty or get blown away by the wind or anything like that when it's empty.
Right.
And then I'll probably finish it, not tomorrow night, but Friday night. I'll do the rest of them because tonight was experimenting to see how big of a hole I had to drill in the bottom of the buckets so that I can basically go and dump and fill the 5-gallon buckets as fast as the hose will let me and then be done. So it's not my time spending, I don't have to spend an hour out there holding a hose.
Right.
So anyway, but 4 or 5 of the trees are dead, which I'm kind of already kind of kicking myself about. The rest mostly seem like they're going to be okay, but I just wasn't getting enough water on them before. So I was trying, or I thought I was trying, but cue what I said a couple of weeks ago about like alive things. They're not as forgiving as dead things are with regard to like, needing water or food or things like that.
Right.
Anyway, so it is what it is.
I'm focusing on the other project to get that done. I have neglected I got a multi-material upgrade for my 3D printer, so I could print with 5 colors.
I am
5
so
different
excited
types
to see that work
at once. And it's still sitting here in parts. I've had it for over a month, and finally I just was never getting to it. And I called a buddy of mine who loves 3D printing, and he was like, "Oh, I'll totally put it together." So I said, "I will totally pay you at this point because I just don't have time." So he put it all together, did all the testing for me, and then I had to disassemble a few parts to bring it home, and I have not even reassembled. I have not reassembled yet.
Well, one project at a time, though. It's good. It's good.
I know.
Discipline to like finish one project before starting the other. I wish that I was that disciplined.
I was going to say hello. My name's Eric. I think we've just met. So yeah. But
okay, I'm super excited to see what you can print though with like, I didn't realize 5 materials.
Yeah,
awesome.
and
so you can do 4 colors and like a dissolvable one.
Exactly. And so he tested it with some of his stuff, and he found all the kinks, and he's already given me the list of warnings and ways it's going to break and fail and how to fix it when it does. Like, okay. Because he had it for a week. So much thanks to him.
Did he go and buy himself an upgrade once?
No, he's still got the MK2.
Oh.
Yeah, so we'll see. But no, he does not. He did not buy it because it doesn't support his printer. So, but he's way more into 3D printing than I am, and knows way more about it and has more hands-on than I do at fixing the things. So, but that was fun.
I have been watching a whole lot of CNC videos for like Avid CNC. But yeah, I can't. It's dumb of me to keep doing this, but it's fun. It's fun. So yeah. Well, did you do anything fun for Father's Day?
I'm drawing a blank. Oh no, I know what I did. I did more grilling on my fancy new grill. I cooked Sunday dinner. I cooked and I actually tweeted a picture, so I can throw the link in there. But I tried using roasting potatoes in a cast iron pan on the grill.
Okay.
And they turned out really tasty, but I'm still working on getting my heat dialed in. So I grilled some chicken and asparagus and roasted
digital
potatoes.
Digital controls are really awesome. It's amazing. It's amazing what happens when you have a little up-down arrow and you could say 275 degrees.
There is a somewhat expensive add-on that will do that for me, which I may or may not ask for as a Christmas present. So we'll see.
That's awesome.
I'm still working on it, but they were really. That's what we did for Father's Day. Is I cooked. I used my grill and enjoyed cooking and roasting and trying something new and different.
Oh, that's awesome.
So,
that's awesome.
What did you do?
I asked for 3 things for Father's Day. Evidently, go to the movies, cook steaks, and play board games. So that's what we did. So Saturday was my younger boy's 2-week anniversary from his second shot. So so we're now officially 100% vaccinated in the King household, which is awesome. Mm-hmm. Very excited about that. And so Sunday we went to a movie to celebrate. And movies, at least in Oregon, in Washington County, are masks optional if you're vaccinated, if you're fully vaccinated, which is good because you can, it's hard to eat candy,
popcorn
with, well, yeah, we had just that was I guess my steak was for dinner, but my Father's Day lunch was Arby's, which I have not had in a very long time. And Arby's, as you know, is one of my favorite fast food restaurants. I'm a fancy man. So anyway, so that was fun. That was awesome. And we went and got the Regal Premium experience. So it had the seats that had the legs that came up. What am I saying? Like a recliner. They were very comfortable. And so yeah, that was awesome. And then I cooked steaks on the fake fire grill for dinner. And we played Knights and Cities of Catan.
Okay.
So that was awesome.
Fun.
That was awesome. Yeah.
Nice.
'Twas good. All right.
We're ready for, I almost jumped right to something fun.
Gotta do topics first. All right. Hit me with the topic.
Oh, I had several different ones that I was staring at, but this one I decided was interesting enough because this scam actually showed up at my house. Basically, there is a phishing. It's a phishing attack, and it's basically an email. This is not necessarily unique, I suppose, but it's now targeting Office 365 users. And basically, there's an email from, I'm air quoting Microsoft right now, that says, hey, we're going to charge you a monthly fee unless you call to cancel the trial. And so it's not just click on this link and go to this website and download something. They actually are now in cahoots with a fraudulent call center. So you pick up the phone and you call the number in the email, and they answer, Office 365 support, how can I help you, or whatever they say. And at that point, The call center tells you, okay, here's what you do. You go here and download this Excel file, and we'll cancel your service, if you don't want that.
Wow.
Then, of course, the Excel file has a malicious macro that downloads downloads the payload, and now have your credentials stolen, and potentially you've been infected with ransomware. But I thought that was interesting in that I think people seem to be more likely to believe if I pick up the phone and call somebody because I'm initiating it, right?
Right.
And I've seen those emails. My wife asked me about this, and she was like, we don't have Office 365, do we? No, we do not. Okay, so it's a scam. But I got an email today, which I wish, fortunately everything worked out okay, but I got an email today from my bank. It looked like it came from my bank saying, hey, we've noticed some fraudulent activity on your credit card. Please call us and make sure that everything is good. And I picked up the phone and I called, and as I'm sitting there walking through the steps there, I'm like, I sure hope this is an actual email and the actual bank I'm calling not just believing that the phone number I got sent an email. So I went and double checked. And fortunately it was.
Oh, wait. So did you actually call the number that was in the email?
Yes, I did. And so I did exactly what people would be doing in this article.
But what you should do, and what you know that you should do, but what you should do is call the number on your actual credit card, or
correct.
Like go to your known banks website,
verify that the number you're going to call.
Call that number. Don't trust any number that you're getting just in a random email.
Exactly. Just like you don't click on links in a random email. Type the link in. And so that's what caught me. And while I'm sitting on the phone and putting in my PIN number, I'm like, crap, I didn't even check, So I have a momentary panic attack thinking that I've just done something horrible. And then I went and looked at the email, went back and tracked back, called, the number so it turned out it was a legitimate email. And all was hunky-dory. But the negative to this story is apparently my credit card has been stolen again from somewhere, somehow. We've been doing the podcast long enough to have had my credit card now stolen twice.
Multiple times, yes.
Yes. And so...
I'm sorry.
I'm getting a new one FedExed on Friday, but I use this credit card for... like the city, gas bill, it just charges the credit card and then I pay it off every month. So now I got to go to all those accounts and reset up the bill pay with the new number and all that stuff. So, anyways.
That's frustrating.
This article hit a little close to home for me today. So I thought I'd bring that one up just because you get an email and you can call a phone number, maybe make sure it's the right phone number to call. Fortunately, in my case, it turned out okay, but it could very well, my actions could have resulted in something bad had it been something similar. So
right. No, I have that momentary gut drop when once in a while, it seemed like it wasn't too terribly long ago, I clicked on, because let's see, I think it was, our company does the, fake phishing emails to, user education. It's really, It's an important thing. And 99 times out of 100, no, it's super obvious.
Yeah.
Like, at least in my opinion. But that's okay. And there's a button integrated into Outlook for report phishing, and it comes up and says, good job, thank you, etc. But every once in a while, I remember there was a time not too terribly long ago where I was like, they suckered me in, and it was, it was something I'd been waiting for, or something, I forget the exact situation, and then I was like, it was only after I had clicked that I was like,
They got me.
They got me.
Yep. Happens to the best of us.
Yep. And the gal who actually runs the program, I've met her a few times, and she is a bit evil about that. She takes a well-deserved bit of pride on that, which is awesome. So anyway, that's good. It's good. All right. Well, I have two, maybe you call it 1 3/4 topics.
Okay.
So the first is a release this week of a complement to the MITRE ATT&CK framework. So this is a defend, of course, defend spelled with the 3 for the first E. The defend framework is and I'm reading here, a framework for cybersecurity professionals to tailor defenses against specific cyber threats. So this research on this was funded by the NSA. And well, let's see this. So the quote is, NSA funded MITRE's research for Defend to improve the cybersecurity of national security systems, the Department of Defense, and the defense industrial base. The Defend technical knowledge base of defensive countermeasures for common offensive techniques is complementary to MITRE's attack, a knowledge base of cyber adversary behavior. So this is awesome. So the point of this is, attack measures and provides a way of, I shouldn't say measures. It enumerates and provides a way of describing various, attack techniques. And the complement to that is defense techniques. Seems pretty cool. I will be curious to see how this fleshes out with ways to actually measure, and how companies like ours, the one we work for at least, will leverage this, and be able to sort of show defenses. So, I think that attack has been in general very much a net good for the world in really kind of enumerating these things, but sometimes measuring the detection of those. In order to measure them, you have to actually turn off defenses, which is kind of weird as a defender. Let these things through so that you can tell how much you can see them. But so I'm a little more interested in how measurements of the defense techniques will wind up coming out. So anyway, I'm kind of excited about this, and I'm happy to see it released. So
cool.
Yeah, that's the first one. It's kind of cool. Let's see. I did pull out one. My last quote I pulled out was, let's see, complementary to the threat-based attack model, Defend provides a model of ways to counter common offensive techniques, enumerating how defensive techniques impact an actor's ability to succeed. By framing computer network defender complexity of countermeasure functions and techniques as granularly as attack frames computer network attacker techniques, Defend enables cybersecurity professionals to tailor defenses against specific cyber threats. So anyway, there we go. That'll be cool. We'll see what happens with that.
Attack and defend. There you go.
Right? That was cool. Well done. Little leet speak, I guess. I wonder, did they have an argument whether both E's should be 3s? I bet you somebody was arguing for that.
And the other answer was, well, only one of the A's in attack is the ampersand. So
I bet so. Anyway,
that would have been my argument.
That's cool. Well played. Okay, my fractional topic. Fractional, because I haven't yet seen an article about this, so I don't know. Maybe it doesn't rise to the level of getting an article in one of the things, or maybe I just missed it. But this is a Twitter thread from Gossie the dog. A couple of what's his actual name? Kevin Beaumont, I think. From a couple days ago, that is about a number of Microsoft signed rootkits, kernel driver that have kernel drivers, network filter drivers installed in them. The key phrase in that last sentence or sentences is Microsoft signed. So that's clearly not what Microsoft intends to happen, but
right.
Yeah. So the Twitter thread, which is what we'll link in here, goes through here. Actually, let me load that back up. So the Twitter thread, there's actually a couple of kind of related threads, but they're linked. There's at least a couple of links in here, at least. But all of the hashes reach out to various IPs in China. They date back to March for when they were first seen, at least by VT. And let's see, where's the rest of the thread here? Oh, sorry, I had to show this thread. So evidently, something new in Windows 10 is that you used to have to co-sign drivers. So, but evidently Microsoft removed the co-signing requirement. So it used to be that you had to have an EV cert. What is it called? Extended verification. But evidently you don't have to do that anymore. Which, okay, maybe that's not a great thing. But if you look through this thread, there's a Google spreadsheet that lists the 17 known related files or examples of this particular well, most of them are flagged as a Trojan. Microsoft, ironically, is actually detecting them as well, and as is McAfee, by the way. At least for I think I tried 3 or 4 of the hashes, but they if you look up one of the hashes on VT, you can see that they're signed by Microsoft Windows Hardware Compatibility Publisher. One of the links in the thread was signed on April 30th, but there are others in here that span from March to June, I think. And then what was the last thing? It seems like I pulled up one more thing on this, but go back. I think I think the last thing I pulled out here was that it was dropped over a web. There's a quote here that says it's dropped over a web request. regini.exe used with this file and registers it as system driver. Loaded on next reboot, the driver appears to hook web traffic. So that's what it is. So, that's why I was like, well, it's kind of a partial topic, but I haven't seen an article about it. But certificate trust or lack thereof is really complicated because you can't the theory is, oh well, the whole point of public key cryptography is you should trust anything that's signed with one of your trusted certificates. But what happens when a certificate publisher signs something? Okay, there's a revocation list. All right, well, revocation lists are not very performant, especially online ones. What is it, OCSP? But
right, which has been replaced.
Oh, yes, but I don't remember what was it replaced with. I forget. Oh well.
Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. CRLs or what? OCSP replaced CRLs. Sorry, I got that flipped.
Oh, I thought there was a newer like some protocol, but maybe I'm just smoking it. I don't live in this world 100% of the time, so.
Can I go with you next time you leave?
Anyway, it's just like, it's funny, here's a list of trusted certificates. Oh, except for these things that are signed with it. Oh, except for
right.
Yeah. There's it's what would that be, like alternating trust don't trusts all the way down? I don't know. Anyway, there you go. There's a fractional topic for you. I'll throw the link to the Twitter thread in the show notes, and maybe there'll be more info. I don't know. We'll see. All right. How about something fun tonight? What you got for me, Eric?
So I had, like my topic, I had several other ideas for something fun and then threw them all out and decided on this one in the last second. So
okay.
It's been one of those days.
Okay.
So as we record tonight, tomorrow night will be a strawberry moon.
Strawberry Moon.
I don't think I had heard the term strawberry moon before.
I have
but
not.
Apparently the strawberry moon is not because it looks reddish or pinkish. The strawberry moon is because of the actual seasonal timing in the lunar cycle, which coincides with strawberry growing season in what's now the northeastern United States and parts of northern Canada.
Oh.
So it's a full moon or a supermoon.
So New Zealand would not have this as the strawberry moon, is what you're saying?
They would call it they would call it a supermoon or a full moon or a moon to go check out. So, but it does. And it was originally named by the indigenous Algonquin, Ojibwe, Dakota, and Lakota peoples, among others, that lived in the lands to honor the harvest of the sweet fruit, according to the Farmer's Almanac. So I thought Strawberry Moon was a fun thing, and so it may be past by the time you listen to this, but this week, tonight through Saturday, you can go see it. The official Strawberry Moon or Supermoon happens at like 2:40 in the afternoon, East Coast time. So that'd be 11:40 in the afternoon tomorrow, Thursday. In the afternoon. We won't see it because it would still be daylight here, but that's when the moon is actually the closest. That split second, the moon is closest to the Earth.
So very cool.
Anyways,
may I say that strawberries this year were ready way earlier than normal. The whole weather this year is just so weird.
We have been eating strawberries and freezing strawberries for weeks.
Have you?
Yes. And I'll throw in a funny joke. So there's a strawberry stand down the road from where I live. And I think it's a church and a youth group, and kids go out with signs, a couple of blocks down the way with signs saying strawberries. My boy and I are headed to lunch, and he goes, "Dad, we protest everything here. Now we're protesting strawberries." And he got me because my initial reaction was, "It's not really a straw." Oh, you're making a joke, son. Well done. Good job.
Well
I'm picking up on your humor.
Well played.
Yes, we make jokes every time we pass the kids with the signs about the strawberry protest.
That is awesome. Yeah, actually, my wife got me a T-shirt that says "Dad joke. I think you mean rad joke" on it, and so my older boy was like, "Oh my gosh, that is the worst shirt," and I'm like, "Oh, you know what? You're gonna be seen with me in public with this shirt on, for that."
That's right.
I have to, Anyway. That'll be funny. Twill be funny. Okay, I have two fun things. Sorry, two fun things. So the first is a gigantic rhinoceros. So this was fossils of a rhino taller than a giraffe found in China. So evidently, huge rhinoceri, I don't know what that, rhino, are not new. On the let's see. It says the newfound species roamed between what is now the Tibetan Plateau and Pakistan more than 25 million years ago. But this is immense. Let's see. It says it would have been. Colossal animal would have weighed up to 24 tons, 4 times heavier than today's African elements, and its skull alone was more than a yard long. The latest known species in a group of giant hornless rhinos that lived across Central Asia from roughly 50 million to 23 million years ago. P. leishensei. I don't know how that's pronounced, sorry.
Okay.
Let's see. and its kin are all famous for their huge sizes. The average adult is thought to have stood more than 16 feet tall at the shoulder, with a nearly 7-foot long neck topped by a massive skull. So today's giraffes are between 14 and 19 feet tall, head and all. So basically, picture the tallest giraffe you've ever seen, and its shoulder would be about that tall. So, and it says that giant rhinos would have been able to eat flowers at the 3rd or 4th floor of the building.
That's a big rhino. A
rhino paleontologist. So, anyway, that's the first one. I thought that was cool, and it, small, but you can go check that out. That's awesome. My second thing, I saw this link. I think the link we'll actually need to put in here is the link to the YouTube video to go watch. But okay. I saw this comment on Twitter that says, and I'm going to read this quote, "There's a globe-spanning layer of mesopelagic fish so dense it distorts sonar. For decades, we had no idea what created the deep scattering layer or why it moved. We still know almost nothing about it. It contains 65%, and then in parentheses, or more, of all fish biomass. So, marine ecology has dark fish." Imagine if ornithology was like physics, where we had some sort of dark birds that represent 95% of all birds, but we just had no way to detect them besides the effect they have on other birds. Anyway, I thought that was cool. But what there was a link somewhere in the thread, and so I pulled it out and I watched. I haven't actually finished watching it. I watched the first 5 minutes of it because I had thrown it in our Slack for something fun, and then I was like, oh yeah, let me go watch that thing. And it turns out that it's a short documentary. But so we can put the link in here. And the documentary is about the lanternfish. So I know how much you like documentaries.
I do.
There you go. You can watch this thing about the lanternfish. So there you go.
How this tiny fish is cooling our planet.
Right?
Huh. I will have to watch that.
So there you go. Something fun. I thought that you would appreciate that one in particular.
Now you have me hooked.
All right. Well, finish off the podcast and then you can watch YouTube. So it's good.
Will do. Well, I feel like we're finishing early.
Yeah. Well,
it's all right.
Oh yeah. Look at that. That's okay. That's okay.
Yeah, it's all good.
It's all good.
So you got plans for this? What are your plans for the heat? My boy said, "Dad, can we go to the beach?" I'm like, everybody's going to go to the beach, and it's not going to be cool or pleasant. Let's sit in the basement and chill.
I am not sure. My neighbor asked for my help running a tractor for him, which I think is going to be someday this weekend. And then I have we have these friends who have a daughter who is evidently really into bees, and so she had put out a thing on to sort of a friend circle that says, "Hey, does anybody know anything about bees?" And to which my wife replied, John does. And so they're going to come over Sunday morning, and I'm going to, basically, I think, I suggested that they buy a veil and gloves, and so she's going to come over, and I'm going to show her all about bees. But I was like, come over at 8:30, so that we're into the hives before it gets too hot.
How do bees handle the heat? Because they generate a lot of heat in those hives.
They bring back water and evaporate it.
I did not know this.
There you go.
They fill their little bee mouths with water and spit on the floor, and it evaporates, huh?
They evaporative cooling.
Nice.
They make their own air conditioning. Yep, and they'll fan to create airflow, kind of in one side of the hive and out the other, and They're masters of regulating temperature.
Huh.
I still think it's a good idea. Actually, I had somebody text me earlier. I think it's a good idea to try and vent, provide some ventilation at the top of the hive, in particular hot weather like this. But yeah, they'll evaporative cooling.
Okay.
So it's a good call out, because I should probably make sure that I don't really put out water for my bees. A lot of times, like especially urban beekeepers have to worry about bees going to neighbor swimming pools and stuff like that to get water. I've got
you have
some
that river or creek or whatever.
Yeah,
down
we
behind
have
you.
canals. Yeah, we have irrigation canals nearby, which I think still have water in them. But I should at least check on that, because if not, I should put out some buckets of water or something like that for the bees.
You have 33.
I do, only 8 of which have holes in them drilled so far, but that's okay. Anyway, all right. Well, there you go. Right. A little bit of something fun. Bees can evaporate water to cool down the hive. Yeah, which they do for making honey in the first place, right? Because that's kind of what honey is evaporated nectar.
Right. Right.
Anyway, but yeah.
It's like, I don't know. I'm sure if cooler. That's what I was trying to think of.
I thought that might be what you were trying to think of. Swamp cooler. Yeah.
All right.
All right. That's good enough. Well, you got an extra bonus, something bee fun.
That's right.
All right. There you go. I'll talk to you later, Eric. Have a good night.
Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.